Hi, welcome to 24 Astro, where I talk about astrology from a personal point, a mix of different spiritual principles. Today I want to discuss Pisces. I wrote some keywords or digested the zodiac sign a bit beforehand. And I felt before I pressed record, should I read something, like should I do some more research? But I felt like no, maybe I'll just talk and see where it goes. At first, when I started to get into astrology, the only thing I knew was my sun sign is Aquarius. But when I got my chart for the first time, I had so many Pisces placements, and that really made me want to understand that sign. And like having it being the sign that is most hard to pinpoint, like there are so many aspects to different zodiac signs that are easy to categorize, or like there's keywords that's always being used with different zodiac signs. But when it comes to Pisces, it's always like this disclaimer that it's very hard to talk about or hard to understand, which made me like I felt even more drawn towards it, drawn towards understanding. And I haven't really reached that video yet where I feel like, okay, this, like, it's unpacking and exploring and not just giving me like elusive keywords. Like, so in my journey of understanding Pisces, in the beginning, when I intuitively got to know the zodiac sign, I just immediately thought of Yinyang when I saw the fishes in the glyphs. And it stuck with me, that like fish symbol, the Yinyang. And after a while I interpreted the symbol as being the soul and the ego. And this kind of is the same thing, but in different layers of the understanding. So, the glyph of the two fishes. In Greek mythology, it's explaining the story of Aphrodite and her son Eros walking along a lake or along the sea. There's always, when it comes to mythology, there's always so many different variations of the story. But and this monster, Typhos, came and scared them, and they jumped. Aphrodite and her son jumped into the water, and they transformed into two fishes. And that is basically it's the story, kind of very like roughly explained. And if you look into it, Aphrodite symbolizes the primitive aspects, the ego aspects of the divine feminine principle, by being the kind of like shadow sides of the feminine, with like jealousy and competitiveness and like seductiveness in kind of like dark sense, but yet not, she's not viewed as something like demonic. She's still praised and adored in the mythical world, but she's still not this Neptunian oneness love. And Eros, her son, is kind of the same flavor of it. He's the same like desire, primital energy. And then them representing the feminine and the masculine. In the glyph, there's this connectedness between them, and they're going in opposite direction, and they're tied together by a ribbon. And then if we look at water, if we look at the sea, it often symbolizes wisdom, love, wholeness. There's many different interpretations. So with all this said, Aphrodite and Eros symbolizes the Yinyang symbol, with the water being the soul. And this is for me the explanation of why Pisces is always seen as intuitive and spiritual, in the symbolism of it being yin-yang, like the ultimate balance in a human being. It's connected to the 12th house of reclusiveness, the solitude. And this, for me, this is like the driving force of having planets or your sun sign or moon sign in Pisces. There's this draw towards the fulfillment on a soulful level that's even deeper than for someone with not too many planets in Pisces, because we all have all 12 zodiac signs in us. It's explaining the human journey. But for someone with a lot of heavier Piscean placement, this draw towards spirituality and fullness is amplified. And with this explanation, for someone with a lot of Piscean energy, what is your ideal valuation or your ideal driving force to take the shadowy sides of Pisces and turning it to your inner gold is by finding this inner balance of the masculine and feminine principle to create this wholeness. And also, if we look at Pisces as like the shadow sides being drawn towards more escapism and like drug use and stuff like that, it's the perfect thing to like understand that since we strive so much towards this fulfilled state, we feel emptiness and we're terrified, or we have this this fear of being alone. Like, that's very human, but this fearful state of this this emptiness can be even heightened than for someone without a lot of Piscean placements. So a very good thing. I'm hoping that this explains why solitude is so fucking important for someone with Pisces. And this can be done with meditation, yoga, everything that's yourself, not being distracted from outside things. So being by yourself and then really like checking yourself, like analyzing, doing self-work, doing shadow work, understanding your sexuality, your relationship towards your mother and father being the first archetypes of masculine and feminine, and then starting this journey of like yin-yang and not projecting your lacking energy on someone outside yourself. That will never ever 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 fulfill you. It will always make you empty eventually if you can't really give yourself that fullness. And I here have a book recommendation that is like, it's so it's so good, and that is by Robert Johnson. He's Jungian psychologist, and he's written a lot of books that are so good, and he's very skillful when it comes to analyzing archetypes and mythology. He's compiled so much mythology throughout the time and summarized it into 2 kind of short books. I think they're like 100 pages or something. He's summarized the evolutionary journey for the female principle and the male principle, and their mythological explanations through time, and from like a very unevolved human psyche to more matured. And it's like I recommend reading both because we have both inside us, and probably them both being not so healthy. Starting this journey of your relationship to both the feminine and masculine inside yourself. And I think that's a great starting point to read them both and think about what they awaken for you, what you can feel that resonates for you. And if you start with the she or he, that's up to you what you feel drawn towards. But it's a great book to read over and over again to really like start that discussion and that consciousness about those energies inside yourself. I think it's very important for Pisces to really honor this inside ourselves, because we have that capacity to have that empathy towards others. And if we can't really balance ourselves, and I know Libra is like, everyone associates Libra with balance because of the scales and justice and harmony, but I really think that Libra is more directed outwardly towards other people and habits and stuff, and of course everything inside reflects outside. But I think Pisces is more this balance inside our soul. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next video.